क्षेत्रेषु
नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 7, verse 27. Let me record. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 7, verse 27. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Vetedam Drona Putrasya. Kaman Astram Pradarshitam. Naiva Sauveda Samharam. Pranabhadha Upasthite. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Vetedham Drona Putrasya. Thaman Astram Pradarshitam. Naivasau Veda Samharam. Pranabhadha Upasthite. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Vetedam Drona Putrasya. Raman Astram Pradarshitam. Nivasau Veda Samharam. Pranabhadha Upasthite. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Avai Charnaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Synonyms: Sri Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Sri Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Uvacha said.
Vacha said.
Veta, just know from me.
Just know from me.
Idam, this.
This.
Drona Putrasya, of the son of Drona.
Drona Putrasya, of the son of Drona.
Brahmam Astram, hymns of the Brahma nuclear weapon.
Brahman Astram, hymns of the Brahman nuclear weapon.
Pradarshitam, exhibited. Na, not. Eva, even. Asau, he. Veda, know it. Samharam, retraction. Pranabhadhe, extinction of life.
Extinction of life.
Upasthite, being imminent.
Being eminent.
Translation. The Supreme, please repeat after me. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said.
Know from me that. This is the act of the son of Drona.
This is the act of the son of Drona.
He has thrown the hints of nuclear energy, Brahmastra.
He has thrown the hints of nuclear energy, Brahmastra.
And he does not know how to retract the glare.
And he does
And
not
he
know
does
how
not
to
know how
retract
to
the
retract the glare.
He has helplessly done this, being afraid of imminent death.
He
has
has
helplessly
helplessly
done
been
this,
afraid
being
of
afraid of
death.
imminent death.
Purport.
The Brahmastra is similar to the modern nuclear weapon manipulated by atomic energy. The atomic energy works wholly on the total combustibility, and so the Brahmastra also acts. It creates an intolerable heat similar to atomic radiation. But the difference is that the atomic bomb is a gross type of nuclear weapon, whereas the Brahmastra is a subtle type of weapon produced by chanting hymns. It is a different science, and in the days gone by, such science was cultivated in the land of Bharatavarsha. The subtle science of chanting hymns is also material, but it has yet to be known by the modern material scientist. Subtle material science is not spiritual, but it has a direct relationship with the spiritual method, which is still subtler. A chanter of hymns knew how to apply the weapon as well as how to retract it. That was perfect knowledge, but the son of Dronacharya, who made use of this subtle science, did not know how to retract. He applied it, being afraid of his imminent death. And thus, the practice was not only improper but also irreligious. As the son of Brahmana, he should not have made so many mistakes, and for such gross negligence of duty, he was to be punished by the Lord himself.
Hari Om Tat Sat. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapathaka Swamin Iti Namine Namo Acharya Padaya Nitaya Kripa Pradayine Gaura Kata Damadhaya Nagar Grama Tarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadhe Paschatya Desatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Hariharaya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama Hare Gopala Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudanam Mukam Karodi Vachalam Pangulangai Tegirim Yatripatamam Mande Sri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Mishwaram Hari Om Tat Sat. Very beautiful. Yesterday I was talking about subtle science and gross science. The modern scientists, they only know earth, water, fire, ether, and air. They have not developed to the subtle level so that they can construct the nuclear weapon by the hints of Vedic injunctions. Rather, I don't think there will be any time they will do it in this Kali Yuga because they have not accepted the Vedic injunctions. And they have rejected, denied. They think that scientist means atheistic nature. Atheistic approach is called a so-called science method. But that's untrue because everything is created and everything is empowered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But doesn't matter whether gross or subtle, as long as it is not connected to Krishna, this is material. Now this Brahmastra is not connected to Krishna. So this is material. The same Brahmastra, when Arjuna fires, that is connected to Krishna. Because Arjuna does not out of imminent death or protection or fear or anything or destroying. He only does for want of Krishna. That is the beauty of it. Gross or subtle doesn't matter. It can act as transcendental as soon as you engage that in the service of Krishna. That is the difference between son of Drona and Pruta or son of Kunti. So this very important thing, the same subtle science is engaged both by son of Drona and son of Kunti. But what is the difference? Son of Drona has engaged out of fear for his imminent death, and the Supreme Personality of God is speaking here in this verse. To hear from Krishna's lotus mouth any words is, one should be most fortunate to hear that. What to speak of just seeing face to face or just remembering his lotus feet. He is speaking in such a sweet words, and he is talking to Arjuna so casually as if two persons are speaking ordinarily. How beautifully. And he's answering the question very simply. Such a big answer it is. Such a scientific, technological answer. He's just giving it casually. He's telling that, know from me that this is the act of son of Drona. Who else can tell? After looking at the result of Brahmastra launch, can anyone think at the time that it was launched by Ashwatthama? Everyone think, okay, there is some pralaya came. Nobody knows that. But Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God. He is also Antaryami or Paramatma in everybody's heart. He knows everybody's actions. So he has immediately revealed. And this is the beauty when one takes shelter of Krishna. As soon as you surrender to a spiritual master, who is the representative of Krishna, or Lord Krishna, what happens is your impossible becomes possible. Otherwise, is there any way to identify by who has thrown this and how to stop that? No way at all. No way. But if you surrender to Krishna, he is there in the form of Paramatma in everybody's heart. He is Chittahari. He is Chaitya Guru. He is Paramatma Guru. We have an Adhyatmika Guru outside. We have Paramatma Guru, Chittahari inside. You surrender to both, so that from outside and inside you are completely safe and protected, and you will never ever act foolishly or out of ignorance, or you won't be in confusion, or you will never come across fear. Even death personified stand in front of you, you will not fear. Why? Because you have taken shelter of Krishna. That's a big difference between here Ashwatthama and Arjuna. Ashwatthama has launched, he used this, still he is on self-dependent. He is having faith in his own skill, and out of imminent death, he is afraid. He is afraid. So he acts foolishly. Anyone who is afraid will act foolishly, because out of fear, when they act, their intelligence will not work. Intelligence becomes bewildered out of fear. But Arjuna is not afraid of death, because he is surrendered. He remains surrendered to Krishna. So even after Ashwatthama launched the nuclear weapon, Arjuna was simply asking Krishna, oh Krishna, it appears there is some very big danger. What is this glare? Where from it is coming? I don't understand anything. It is not that Arjuna really cannot understand, but he takes the position of better to surrender to Krishna rather than knowing these things or having this kind of knowledge or using this kind of knowledge for understanding things better. No, he simply surrendered to Krishna. If he so desire, let me know. Otherwise, I don't need to know. That is the purpose. That is the purpose. So this is the beauty. Now, Arjuna remains surrendered, so he is not afraid. And Ashwatthama is not surrendered. So he is out of fear, he does the foolish activity. So in this way, anyone who is out of fear will only act foolishly. And Brahmastra, Prabhupada has written here, it is similar to modern nuclear weapon, but modern nuclear weapon, as I told yesterday, is from the gross chemicals, materials. But what Ashwatthama has launched, this is a subtle material energy. Gross or subtle, it is material. Okay, subtle science is not spiritual. Subtle science is not spiritual, but it has direct relationship with the spiritual method. That would be more subtler. Like chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and chanting for a Brahmastra mantra, so much of difference. Both are subtle only, right? But Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is more subtle, and that has direct relation to spirituality. And a chanter of hymns knew how to apply the weapon as well as how to retract it. That is called perfect knowledge. But unfortunately, the son of Dronacharya, he has misused the subtle science and he didn't know how to retract. And because he is afraid of his own death, the immediate death, he has committed this dangerous, foolish activity. When the person who is fearful commits an activity out of fear, it becomes really dangerous to himself and others. It is not that it will protect him at least. No. When Brahmastra here launched is going to destroy the whole planet, then how can he escape? So this is the result. This is the result. Only because of fear, he has misused this skill. He has applied it. Of course, according to Shastra, it should be the ultimate weapon. When you're going to die and you don't have any other alternative, can you use it? In that sense, it may not be called as misuse, but when you act it against a devotee, it is misuse. If you are acting against, even materially, if you are launching this astra, this nuclear missile against a demon, then it is still acceptable. But he has misused because he has used the skill according to the Vedas, but against a pure devotee who thinks no harm to this person or any other person. Just see. Just see. Is it the purpose of nuclear bomb or nuclear missile? To kill a person who is the well-wisher of all? To kill a person who is not going to kill you, at least. So this is the mistake. This is the mistake. He should have not done that mistake. Prabhupada is telling, as the son of Brahmana, he should not have done. But he has made so many mistakes like that. So the Lord will punish such a person. This is the purport. So we'll go to the next verse. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 7, verse 28. Nahi asyanyatamam kanchi kinchid.
Nahi asyanyatamam kinchid.
Astram pratyavakarshanam.
Astram pratyakarshanam.
Jahi astra teja unnadam.
Dahi astra teja unnadam.
Astrajnyo hi astra tejasa.
Astrajnyo hi astra tejasa.
Nahi asyanyatamam kinchid.
Nahi asyanantamam kinchid.
Astram pratyavakarshanam.
Astram pratyavakarshanam.
Jahi astra teja unnadam.
Jahi astra teja unnadam.
Astrajnyo hi astra tejasa.
Astrajnyo hi astra tejasa.
Nahi asyan ki atmanam kinchit. Sorry. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Nahi asyan yatatmam kinchit.
Nahi
asyanyatamam kinchit.
Astam pratyavakarshanam.
Astram pratyavakarshanam.
Jahi astra teja unnadam.
Jahi astra teja unnadam.
Astrajnyo hi astra tejasa.
Astrajnyo hi astra tejasa.
Synonyms. Na, not.
Not.
He, certainly.
He, certainly.
Asya, of it.
Asya, of it.
What happened? What happened? Cannot hear. Prabhu is muted. Haribol.
No, maybe sir is facing network issue because we also not able to hear sir.
He is muted.
No, not.
No,
No,
not.
no.
He certainly.
He certainly.
He's spaced out. Okay, so let me share the screen. Do you remember the verse number?
27.
Huh?
27.
27. Okay, just a second.
Ma'am, 28 and 27 is done.
Okay,
Yeah,
28.
28, sir.
1.7.28. Okay. Yes, what should I do? Everything on your screen, including. Okay, done. Not able to go this. Oh, Krishna. Just a second. Yeah, can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Nah, not.
No, not.
Not.
He certainly.
He certainly.
Asya of it.
Asya of it.
Asya of it.
Anyatamam other.
Anyatamam other.
Kinit anything. Kinchit or kinit.
Kinchit, anything.
Kinchit, anything.
Astram weapon.
Astram,
Astram, weapon.
Prati counter.
Prati,
Prati
counter.
Prati,
counter.
counter.
Avakarshanam reactionary.
Avakarshanam, reactionary.
Jahi subdue it.
Jahi
He
subdue it.
subdue it.
Astra Teja, the glare of the weapon.
Astra
Teja,
Teja,
the
glare
glare
of
of
this
the
weapon.
Unnadam, very powerful.
Unnadam,
Unnadam,
very
very powerful.
Astargya, expert in military science.
Astragya, expert in military science.
He, as a matter of fact.
He, as a matter of
Astra Tejasa, by the influence of your weapon.
Astra Tejasa, by the influence of your weapon.
Translation, please repeat. Translation and purport. Is A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Oh Arjuna, only another Brahmastra can counteract this weapon.
Oh,
Arjuna,
Arjuna,
only another
Arjuna.
Brahmastra can counteract this weapon.
Since you are expert in the military science,
Since you are expert in the military science,
subdue this weapon's glare.
subdue this weapon's glare.
The power of your own weapon.
With the
With
power
of
The
your
power of
own
your own
weapon.
weapon.
Purport.
For the atomic bombs, there is no counter weapon to neutralize the effects. But by subtle signs, the action of Brahmastra can be counteracted. And those who were expert in military science in those days could counteract the Brahmastra. The son of Dronacharya did not know the art of counteracting the weapon, and therefore Arjuna was asked to counteract it by the power of his own weapon.
Om Tat Sat Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Kripatamaham Mundi Sri Gurum Deenatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanyam Ishwaram. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Jayapataga Swaminiti Namini. Namo Acharya Padaya Nidaya Kripapradayine Gaura Katha Damadaya Nagara Gramatarine. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarini Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari. Okay, so very nice conversation between Arjuna and Krishna. We all will study Srimad Bhagavad Gita as the primary initial book of Krishna consciousness, even though it has a kind of a heavy philosophy, but it lays the foundation for understanding the rest of the books, especially when it comes to Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. Philosophically, we can nicely understand if we are good at basic understanding of Bhagavad Gita. Even though Bhagavad Gita directly doesn't talk much about devotional service as it was spoken by Krishna, in Bhagavad Gita there are glories of devotional services there, but exactly how to perform devotional services, not much there, because Krishna is explaining to Arjuna. And mostly we see some conversations with question answers between Arjuna and Krishna. But here we see that how nicely the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is speaking. So how does he speak? How does he walk? How does he talk? All his talking is like songs, and now all his walking like dance. Transcendental, completely transcendental. Now the sweet Lord Krishna, you don't see any supremacy over this. Here, when there's a friendship between Arjuna and Krishna, see the friendship, how beautiful. So what does Krishna say? Krishna knows everything. Who is doing? But Arjuna is ignorant. Arjuna is seeing only a light. See, both Krishna and Arjuna boarded on the chariot, and they just, because Arjuna wanted to chase the person who actually killed the sons of Draupadi. So he really wanted to kill that person and return back. So he promised Draupadi, I'll bring his head, and just got inside the chariot, and Krishna was ready and he came as a driver. They both alone are just going. Either he is a driver or he is also accompanying, and some other driver is there. Anyway, it seems that the chariot went very, very, very fast. The description is given in such a way that the Shiva's chariot. So it is Krishna and Arjuna as friends. They privately drive the chariot around. So this is what we understand. And then when he comes there, Ashwatthama flew along with his basic astras and everything. He flew, and then he touched the water, fearing his life, and then he threw the astra. And especially the topmost weapon, not simply some astra for a fight. He was so scared because he has seen the complete Kurukshetra, great stalwart warriors like Bhishma, Drona, everybody was finished by Arjuna. So it also shows the incapability of Ashwatthama that he killed the children because he didn't have the guts to face the parents, the father, the Pancha Pandavas. He didn't have any guts to do that. So very heinous acts he did, which even displeased Duryodhana. But here, after he released the astra, back from it is coming, what is this? Arjuna was not able to understand. Of course, he praised Krishna. And he asked, like a person, a friendly talk between them. We can see that Sakya, how it is being done here, explaining confidential things, asking confidential matters for the service of the Lord. This is very wonderful because even marrying Draupadi was for the service of the Lord. It is Krishna who told when Draupadi refused to marry because there were 5 people she has to marry. So we see that actually they live only for the purpose of the Lord. They have descended. They also are not human beings. Kunti Maharani begot them, one children from one demigod by some prayer. So we understand that there is a purpose of their descent, and Draupadi also came from a fire. So they are all executing their purpose. In this earth, they have some purpose for which they are existing. And the purpose will be revealed by Guru. For every living entity, there is a purpose for which we have come. No plant is useless. Prabhupada, I read a quote, like Prabhupada said, a plant is useless. A plant is a weed. Insofar you don't understand the purpose of it. You don't use of it. The same way, there is a purpose. If you don't understand the purpose, the life is a waste. Or if you don't get Guru guide you in the purpose, he can reveal. Even we are ignorant. So here we see that the Arjuna was totally like, even Panchapandavas, everybody was fully surrendered. Then when he came, then the Astra is coming, then he doesn't understand what is going on. Because nobody has practically seen a Brahmastra coming. Because it was not used so casually. This foolish son of Drona had done that. Very, very dangerous. Not just destroys Arjuna, it destroys a big country or big. It's very, very, very powerful. So it is not just self-protection is here. Like protection of everybody. A Kshatriya is naturally tending to protect the citizens. Why he has to protect the citizens? Not for their sense gratification till death. STTD. What is that STTD? That is the program everybody is signed up for a scheme in material world. Sense gratification till death. And whatever senses you satisfy, they are all going to be either burnt and buried or buried. So this is the case. Then so foolish. Not like that. Their purpose, their life has a purpose of existence to execute the order of the Lord and to act according to the desire of the Lord. Now, as a wonderful friend, he's asking Krishna what it is. And then Krishna is telling, as Mahabah, we see that he's telling that, see, the son of Drona, he has released that Astra, this is Brahmastra, it's coming from him. This information, and he also gives the remedy. Just a counselor, just an advisor. There is no involvement. That is the difference between Supreme Lord and the devotee. Guru Maharaj said that he never set up a counselor system. If there is a counselor system, they keep giving advices. They won't enter into service and perform some service for others. They will simply keep giving tips and tricks, unattached. So here, Supreme Lord, he knows everything. He's doing that. But a devotee is activity. He has to serve. Shaktiman may be idle. The Shakti has to act. That is the nature. To act is our nature. So we cannot be inactive. Or just, okay, advice giver. Detached advice giver. So we can never take it as a service. So Guru Maharaj said, I never set up a counseling system. Very clearly Guru Maharaj says. Guru Maharaj never set up a counseling system at all. He set up Bhakti Vriksha where actually we can learn Krishna conscious subject matter. And the Bhakti Vriksha leader is called Bhakti Vriksha servant leader. He is supposed to perform service. He is supposed to cook some dishes, take class, set up things. And when they ask some help, then try not to get involved so much in their freedom of decision making. At the same time, being very genuine in the Lord is there in every atom. We can please him by just being genuine and integrated without any diplomacy or personal agenda. We should know that Krishna is always conscious of us. We are only not conscious of him. Always we should remember Krishna. Always remembering Krishna is knowing that actually he is aware of me, aware of my activities, aware of my thought. Not like a conditioned soul who doesn't know what I'm thinking. So I can speak whatever I think something else, I can speak something else. I cannot do that with the Lord because he's all pervading, all potent. He's cognizant, all cognizant, full of knowledge. He knows everything, what is going on everywhere. He is the one who created even my thought process. What he doesn't know. So this is very important. Like how nicely that Arjuna really opens up his ignorance. He's a great warrior. And he doesn't know. He says, I doesn't know. He doesn't falsely pose that he knows. But Krishna really knows. So he's giving counseling here. He's giving an advice. What advice he's giving? Very, very nice. The previous verse, very nicely Krishna is explaining Okay, this is first point. Who released this? This is released by the son of Drona. This Ashwatthama has released this weapon, and this is Brahmastra. That also he told. Then Arjuna may take another astra. So he said that no, the Brahmastra cannot be counteracted. So here he is explaining, oh Arjuna, only other Brahmastra can counteract this weapon. Who knows this? Krishna grew up, didn't in a Gurukul. He was not disciple of Drona. Of course, he went to Shantipini Muni further. After 16 years, he went and learned, and he had this thread ceremony with the Shantipini Muni. And in 64 days, he finished this education and came back. In 2 months, he learned 64 arts. And this way, very quickly, he came back. It's not elaborate training with the Panchapandavas had in the Gurukul. No, he grew up in Vrindavan. In the Gopakula, all the cows and gopas is a Vaishya. But here, see how Krishna is all cognizant. We are seeing, oh Arjuna, we are seeing the first canto, first chapter, first sloka, that Janma Tashya Yadonvayati Taratas Tarshishma Abhigyaswarat. So we see here, oh Arjuna, only another Brahmastra can counteract this weapon. Since you are an expert in the military science, subdue this weapon's glare with the power of your own weapon. Complete. Arjuna is said to be a very expert in archery. So, but he is asking, what is this? Because practically he has not seen Brahmastra, because how can somebody give training on a Brahmastra? Now somebody wants to test nuclear power. There is so much problem. What is that? Bokaro? Some place in Rajasthan, they wanted to try out how a nuclear weapon will blast. And many villages around that area were asked to vacate. Not many, there were many villages with little people. So they have to scrutinize which is the place where nobody will be around and how can we vacate the place. And even the natural calamity should not result in natural calamity. A very small portion they will test. They are not testing the whole nuclear bomb. They are testing a very small portion of the nuclear bomb, the destruction which it can create. And so fearful. So nobody can actually test. So Dronacharya has given the training. Of course, practically in many things. But here, he also has taught his son this. He didn't even, the qualification of a person who's learning that Shastra has to be checked before it is being delivered. There is a qualification of Guru, material or spiritual. There is a qualification of Guru, disciple when he is spiritual or material. Just because he is son, he is just given it out of attachment. That shouldn't be the case. Always we should check whether are we doing this for the pleasing Guru and Krishna. Every activity when we do, we have to check, am I pleasing my Guru Maharaj with this activity? Will this activity please my Guru? Every time we need to check ourselves. So unqualified, he is given that, and the boy, both the father also had the desire that the son should rule the kingdom. There itself Drona's quality is gone. He is supposed to be killed, and he was killed. Krishna decided he has to be killed. Here we see that the atomic bombs, there is no counter weapon to neutralize the effect. So Prabhupada is giving, Prabhupada is not a scientist from NASA. Simply he learns, or if you know Krishna, you know everything. No Bhagavatam, you know everything. Simply a book is the window to everything. Till spiritual world, what to speak of the small knowledge? Oh, he's a scientist at NASA, he's doing, I'm a nuclear scientist. Oh, please come and give a lecture in our whatever college, please come and give a lecture, we all will listen. He was also another student like you, he mugged up and passed and then somehow became a PhD, and somehow here and there he had a luck, and this luck is nothing but the karma's result. It arrives suddenly. So when the karma's result arrives at the right time and it's a bigger fruit, then it's called luck. Sometimes the devotees make fun. Luck is nothing but Lakshmi, like this. A fortune, goddess of fortune. But the fortune is nothing but your fruit from the previous lifetime. So that NASA scientist he becomes, and then he's so proud that he acts as if he knows everything. But he's also another fool, completely ignorant of what is what. Simply mugged up some already existing existing research papers. And from the research papers, I know many people who are doing research. And I ask them, what do they exactly do? I get to know that they're just going to the theses already done research and papers. They are studying it day and night. They're deriving something. They practically don't have anything. So really testing a nuclear weapon is actually impossible in its full potency. So nobody actually knows exactly. So Arjuna, even though he knows how to use the nuclear weapon, but when a nuclear weapon was coming towards him, other astras, he was able to identify even the war. When somebody is sending some Agni Astra, some Varuna Astra, like this, there are many, many Astras. When those Astras were coming, he counteracted expertly. It's not that Arjuna is an ordinary person. Very expert in archery, proven fact that the Kurukshetra, it is called, the Kurukshetra war is called Mahabharata. Half of the world was fighting with the rest of the half. And he was the greatest warrior who killed stalwarts. Is the primary reason for victory. So then now we see that where from that comes. It comes from devotional services, all potent. You can even control Krishna, the Supreme Lord. Even Supreme Lord is controlled by. So the devotional service potency, so powerful, anything is possible. Namahi bhaktya pranashyati. So for the atomic bomb, why the bhaktya will not pranashya? It's not that Krishna is like a chowkidar, is a watchman coming and protecting him. Of course, Krishna is the protector of all living entities and provider of all living entities. But the power of devotional service even bewilders Krishna. So loving the Supreme Lord is the primary duty of a spirit soul. And out of love, it's not a passive love. Always love includes action. Not that, okay, I have love in my heart and then some foolish, ignorant teenage boys, they used to say, especially in South India and all, they don't have the guts to go and speak with the girl and all. No, I had that love within this heart and I didn't tell her, I didn't show, I didn't. Then they won't even turn, they'll turn that way and go and this and like this. Then how will the other person know? Same way, expressing is a very important portion of love. So here, that are all ignorance, complete ignorance. Their material world is ignorance, and this is another ignorance. Okay. So, but here, always Prabhupada said that no devotion, he didn't translate the word bhakti into devotion. He translated it into devotional service. So there is an action involved with the love. Somebody says, somebody loves somebody, but they don't act at all. It is not considered love, even by the Supreme Lord. Shantha Bhava is not appreciated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not, even though it is one of the 5 bhavas. There are 5 bhavas. 5 loving exchanges, 5 methods. Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhurya. But still, the Shanta, the passive adoring is not considered by Chaitanya as a devotional service. Devotional service starts with service. Dasya, service. That's why Prabhupada always translated, even though in many times we have heard bhakti is translated as devotion. Other books or other places in English dictionary you won't see. It will be translated as devotion. But Prabhupada is the one who said it starts with service. So how beautiful is devotional service power? Bhakti Jeer Tattvam, the bhakti can win the Supreme Lord's heart and he will become submissive. So here, how beautifully the conversation between Krishna and Arjuna outside Bhagavad Gita, we are seeing for the first time. How do they talk as friends? Okay, in Sakya Baba, what kind of exchanges will happen here? What is Sakya Baba at all? So the Lord says, the devotee executes. The Lord is counseling, and the devotee is executing. And those who are expert in the military science in those days could counteract Brahmastra. If they are too very expert. The son of Dronacharya did not know the art of counteracting the weapon. But Arjuna was an expert. But he doesn't know when a Brahmastra appears in front, what is this effulgence? He's asking. Very clear question. What is this effulgence? So then this is released by Drona's son, and this is Brahmastra, and this Brahmastra cannot be counteracted by any other weapon. It has to be counteracted by another Brahmastra. So Arjuna, see here, subdue this weapon's glare with the power of your own weapon. Same like this, Krishna was giver, and Arjuna was the order carrier. Even though Krishna was the charioteer. So, Astra Tejasa, he, the matter of fact, Astrajna, oh, Krishna is calling Astrajna, oh, expert in the Astras, Astra Tejasa. By the influence of your weapon, you just finish this off. So how? Subdue it. Jahi. How beautiful it is that Krishna will say something and we have to do that. How beautiful it will be. And Krishna will still be the chariot driver. This is friendship, like mutually they're explaining, they're showing submissiveness and love and mutual. So sweet. It's Supreme Lord comes such a down to earth. See the conversation, you'll understand that he's not showing us off his supremacy. Oh, you should be subordinate. I am God, I am master, your servant. You don't see, you see loving exchange. The son of Dronacharya did not know the art of counteracting the weapon, and therefore Arjuna was asked to counteract it by the power of his own weapon. Okay. Grandharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Thank you. Vrajeshwar, you want to add anything? Or what is the time?
Nothing. So, anybody has any questions, comments, or realization, please share with us. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Thank you very much for your association. So we'll start sharp again at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning with the chanting of the holy name of the Lord congregationally and followed by Srimad Bhagavatam class. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Patita Pavan Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Patita Pavan Srila Guru Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Bhagavat Satsang ki jai.
Jai.
Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavan